I'm telling you, man. Ba-da-ba-ba.
Hey fam, welcome back to yet another show of I'm Telling You.
I'm telling you.
Nice. I love that. I like that one. Yeah, I'm Philly D.
Mr. Gemini.
Clickety clack, fact check, Miss JD.
Yeah, and as always, we love starting the program by saying, please reach out to us. We love the interaction. We want to hear from you. Tell us what you're loving, what you want more of. Curse us out in movie quotes. Tell us
the conversation.
Yeah, just hit us up. But you can get all three of us, ITY at directionsandmusic.org, or individually,
GEMINI at directionsandmusic.org. Bleep or beep.
Yeah, our Philly D, PHI, LLY, directionsandmusic.org. Yeah, for first-time listeners, this is a 30-year friendship turned into a talk show with dad jokes, movie quotes, hilarity, and we, talk literally everything. Was that concise
That's
enough?
beautiful.
All right, cool. Good. And sometimes we have guests in the house, which tonight we absolutely have an amazing individual tonight. If you could please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name's Rebecca Zimmerman. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I guess I'll plug my music real quick. You can find my music on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, iTunes, I guess it's Apple Music now, YouTube, Bandcamp, and all social media at Rebecca Zimmerman Music.
As well as I'll put the information in the applicable areas, so we'll help you. We'll help people find you. So. Yeah, she is an amazing local artist. I've had the privilege of literally having you play at my restaurant, which was an amazing time. From the first time I listened to you, I have absolutely loved your style, your aura, your energy, the kind of person that you are. You've always just been very positive, polite, loving. You try to enjoy every moment to the best of its ability. And I mean, it's always a privilege and an honor to hang out with you, so.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you too, and getting to know you through our days at Glenside Ale House, and just getting to know what you value, and sense of community and connecting with people through what you do through music and making delicious food that you made at Glenside Ale House too. So thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing is when we've been doing this for a little over 2 years now, when I finally got to the point where I was like, holy crap, I have enough stuff where it's like, I can start hooking my people up. That's exactly what I did. I started hitting up all the musicians in the local area, and, some of them got back to me, some of them didn't. You were one of the ones. And I was just like, we've been talking for a little over a month and we finally got this to happen. So I'm excited for this as well,
Yeah, absolutely. Those were great. I feel like.
Well, so we used to, we have a mutual friend of ours, Tiff, who used to do a Qigong and stretching class, which Gemini's taken that with me, but I took that class many times by myself as well as with my little munchkin. And there was a few times where you popped in. It was just, Glenside was a really dope place where, it was all about community. And so, to have that as a platform and, now branching into this, it's like, it made sense to me that it's like, I have to still make sure it's about my community. It's the only way to do it in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate all the connections I made there too, especially with Tiffany. I still talk to Tiffany now, and I feel like it was such a convenient location. Everyone from Arcadia, where I went to undergrad, would always come out. I feel like every weekend or anytime I had a gig there, they were always out there supporting, there for the food and the music, and friends and family. I feel like it was just such a welcoming space, and I remember all those events. Yeah, going to Qigong and the outdoor events they would have, different games and stuff set up, and music, and just different community events always going on there.
Oh yeah, we did parking lot parties. Actually, before we opened, we had a parking lot party where we sold tangerine liquid swords by the 32-ounce can. The middle of summer, it's 104 degrees outside, and we're selling 10.2% 32-ounce beers that drink like nothing.
Can I have a leave it or cola?
Dude, people were getting tossed. It was the best time ever. Oh, yeah, I mean, we were giving out tons and tons of water. We were like, make sure you hydrate. All that. Like, we had a blast, and before we even opened, because it was like a Kickstart party where we can get a little extra revenue to, kind of pay for some extra stuff and get us open quicker, which it did. It worked, and yeah, I mean, I worked really hard to promote the idea of community, because that was the thing. Like, the whole Glenside area. Dude, say what you want. I don't care who you are. Glenside area. I mean, you're talking like Winmore, Roswell, they are just some really good community-minded people. It's just an amazing, it's an amazing community. It really is. I mean, I was proud to be a part of it. I mean, shit, I got that tattooed on me. I literally have, I have Round Guys and Glenside tattooed on me for the rest of my life.
And a taco.
Tequila's coming. I got to put a tequila on it. I got to get that.
And the other taco.
That is true.
Toasting tacos.
Yeah, I do. I'm due for another taco as well as a bottle of tequila.
But you still have that video up?
Well, no, I've repositioned it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we've crossed.
Made a lateral move.
More or less, because I still do all my stuff as Philly D. I mean, I got lots of stuff going on, just me, I mean, just like you do, JD. I mean, you got your yoga and whatever else. And I mean, he's trying to be a brewer and all. I mean, like, we all got our own stuff. So yeah, I mean, when I started putting us out there further and getting us on tons of stuff, yeah, I moved my stuff to a whole nother spot where it's just that. That's where I put my music and everything. I think I write, because I don't play instruments anymore. I haven't physically played an instrument in well over a decade, probably close to 2. But
I've been listening to some of your beats on YouTube. I listened to, you have one that's like lo-fi to like sleep to. So I like listening to that kind of stuff when I go to bed. So I was giving that a listen earlier.
Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, cause I mean, I've always, I started playing.
That's great.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I started playing piano when I was 8, got into like guitar, bass, and I mean, I started doing like DJing, so I played with like CDs, vinyls, mixers, samplers, so it just, when I got to the point now where, they have digital audio workstations, a DAW, you have all of the instruments at your fingertips. You can control everything. So, I mean, I've been doing digital audio work for, a little over 20 years now. That's why I was like, I haven't touched a physical instrument in probably close to 2 decades, because I can do it with my fingertips and my computer now. I can just clickety clack and I got a song. I mean, it's not that easy. Well, sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not.
I feel so bad. She's been listening to your stuff. You guys.
Oh, no,
I totally dropped the ball. I have some homework, some catch up.
Well, I mean, you've listened to some of my tracks, so you're at least halfway there. I mean,
Oh, thanks.
I'm just trying to help out, bro. Plus, you listen to my music. I appreciate you.
I do. Sometimes I try making some.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I have been teaching them how to use digital programs.
You still won't let me touch all the buttons, so.
Working with the DAW is intimidating for me, because there are so many options and like just so many things you can do that I'm like, I don't even know where to start with that sometimes.
Dude, I was talking to one of my friends who's like a singer-songwriter type, and I put it as, anytime I actually sit down to write something, it almost never works. I mean, I can make something and I'm like, yeah, it's good. And there's other times I sit down and it's like half an hour later, I'm just like, holy crap, what just happened? And it's just like, there's this amazing thing, and I just have to go through it and clean it up and fine tune it and, rearrange some stuff. But for the most part, it was just like, I literally blacked out, and it's just like, I got this dope track in front of me. I'm like, what the hell just happened? It's the way life works.
Just messing around with it. Yeah. See what comes out.
But that's why I love music as an artful expression, because you can do that. You can just let it happen. You're just like, screw it. And you can just mess around, whether it's piano or keyboard or digital anything. If just making music is a beautiful thing. Like you said earlier, it's a healing thing. Like, you felt just sitting in your room playing music for you, not for anybody else, not writing for anyone else, just for you. Like, that was a healing experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. That has such a different, impact than like playing music to like entertain others, or, doing it with others in mind. I feel like when you're just, making music for you without worrying about, how other people are going to judge it, or worrying is this going to be a hit? Is this going to get big or popular? That's not really what I concern myself with, for the most part. I'm just like, right from the heart, right. But, whatever comes out, and it is what it is. And I feel like as long as you enjoy it and it is meaning for you, and you're brave enough to put it out there, I feel like that people tend to relate to that more, the emotion behind that kind of music.
Would you rather be uber successful being someone else or fail at being yourself? Because I'd rather fail at being myself, because then at least I know I was coming real. I was coming So yeah, you write those lyrics and those pieces from the heart, the way you feel at that moment, whatever you're experiencing, and fuck it. I mean, people are going to like it or they won't,
But it's not about that. I mean, dude, so
it's not, no.
Well, so think about this.
And that's what I was asking that question earlier on the green room, is that what is it? Is it the creative side or is it the expressive side that you like more? And she's like, it's really kind of hard to say, because they're kind of two sides of the same coin, but it all starts at the creative side. And that's kind of like where I was just curious, some people are born performers and some people really like the art of it.
Oh yeah.
I can see how it'd be difficult if you enjoy both, that you really can't even draw a line between them. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Because I was going to say something more along, so if you think about it, when you and I first started this, we were like, we don't care, if just one person is listening, 5 people are listening. And I mean, because all that really was validation that what we're doing meant something. I mean, because it already meant something to us, but, having that additional.
If this affects one person.
Which it did, both of us, you and me.
What I meant was, if this affects one person outside of our inner circle, then that's enough for me.
Yeah, man.
And that was in reference to, we were going through some difficult stuff at the time. So,
I mean, for that specific component there. Yeah. You, a little backstory between him and I, our listeners know this, but you have never heard this story. The two of us have literally saved each other's lives. When I was 17, I fell off a car. They used to call me, one of my other friends used to call me Dances with Cars. Because it was right around the time that movie came out. Yeah, Dances with
Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I spent the entire summer in the hospital, and this guy was here with me for most of it, even the stuff that I don't remember. And he was here to help me try and remember. You still don't remember? No.
Well, yeah, because that was the thing, is the week prior to that, he had just gone water skiing for his first time. Never remembers it. And I mean, so he's water skiing. He doesn't know it.
So in the other one that you're referencing is, this guy calls me up at, I don't know, it was 7:30, 8 o'clock.
8:30, almost 9.
Okay, it was a little bit later, but on Valentine's evening.
Oh yeah, February 14th.
And just the way he sounded, I was like, dude, I'll be there in an hour. I was like, come hell or high, I will be there in an hour. And I showed up, and you kind of started to open up and dump, and I was like, wait, we are hitting record. Because if any of this we claim to do is in the notion of expressing ourselves, whether somebody's listening or not, I was like, what kind of fakes are we if we don't record this and at least document it? And I've listened to it so many times since then. And I hear these little voices in my head of potential listeners never hearing us before and hearing this for the first time, going, you staged this or this or that. And I just literally, that was just the two of us, and we just turned the mic on. And it was all the bullshit we were going through, basically all the bullshit we were going through at the beginning of lockdown, where I was basically starting to lose my mind. I mean, I lost my job of 25 years. I mean, and shit's still not,
it's better, bro.
It's better, but
it is better, bro.
It's definitely better. But I mean, this situation kind of threw me into this whole thing. And basically, when you came to me and wanted to start recording shows in the first place, I was at a point where I've got nothing to lose. Whatever.
I'm not doing nothing.
And then you called me on my bluff, and I showed up with mics 2 weeks later.
He was like, yeah, sure, fine. Get some mics and a recording device. I'll do it with you. I was like, okay. 2 weeks later, I was like, here you go. He's like, damn it.
So the time he's referencing that I saved his life was where I basically flew down to his place, which is like a good 45-minute drive the way I drive. So I probably made it in less time than that, because
you were there pretty quick, bro.
I was there pretty quick, and it just kind of before even things started snowballing in the conversation, I was like, dude, if we want to just throw it in the trash can when we're done, that's your choice. That's fine. I said, but there's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't just hit record right now. And because this is more real than anything I've ever heard on the radio.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The audio quality is something to be desired. However,
I had to crank it up a bit to listen to it, but it's the essence of it is there. I mean,
yeah, I need to go back and remaster that stuff. I can clean that up, I keep saying I should. I really should.
Don't worry about it, man. You got a lot on your plate. You gotta keep looking forward. That'll be archive stuff that we can throw out later.
Yeah. Yeah. The funnier thing about this story to me is up until this point, this was like episode 10 and 9, because we do, our green room and our I'm telling you, but at this point we had started I'm telling you, he comes up with green room, so the numbers were kind of flip-flopped, but we had it, offset. But the simple fact is, at this point, we've only recorded like 17, 18 episodes. And every single time I was kind of coerced. I'm like, come on, bro, let's get this started. Here's the equipment. Like, he, for the first time, was just like, we're done. Let's go. I was like, oh, I guess we got to go record then.
I mean, I didn't know anything about turning everything on, but I was like, no, you need to just hit record and we'll just kick it off.
Yeah.
And of course, like, everything was green room then, because like we didn't have a proper anything.
Yeah, that was before we got on the radio and stuff. And yeah, we didn't have we had no intro whatsoever. Oh my God. Those of you who have been listening since day one, we fucking love you. Thank you so much. Please stick with us. I hope we get funnier from here.
Well, it's definitely going to get more interesting. That's for sure. But
yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
We're going to bring it back to the moment. We're all over the place right now. So.
Yeah, but so again, I mean, that was the cool thing about him and I, is having this connection. But that's the cool thing about us trying to do this show was this to us is a gift to the world. It's an example of, nobody's perfect. We all have those moments. But if we can just talk about them, if we can just accept ourselves and each other and love ourselves and everything else, it is really that easy.
It's not for anybody else. It's not.
Dude, no, we're egomaniacs, right? Is that what they say? Egomaniacal.
I don't need psychological treatment because I have this at least once. You're right.
This is true.
I get a chance. And that's kind of the point behind what we're trying to do is, I mean, even from like season 1 or 2, I think I started mentioning, I was like, I'd be fine if people would listen for 10 minutes and then get hooked on a side conversation and tune us out completely.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's all about continuing this crazy conversation that kind of has a life of its own.
It is its own. I mean, one of the things that we say about us is we've been having the same conversation. It's just the topics have changed. That's it. Like,
it's been the same conversation for like 30 years.
31 plus. Hanging out with this
You just say 30 plus years. That's fine.
It's 31 plus, bro. We've earned it.
All right.
Downplay this.
I've known him longer.
No, so I mean, because I was 13 when I first met him. I'm 44, so yeah, that is 31, but a little extra. So yes, I was 31 plus. We're going on 32, people. Woo.
I'm on 38.
38. Oh, because it doesn't really count.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
But it does.
But I married him, so it totally does. Mm-hmm. You see the grin on her face right now? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. Say it. Do it. Go ahead. Do it. That's what I thought. Nothing.
So we were conversating with our guest, right?
I know, right?
Like, I feel like we totally went off track there.
Well, that will happen here.
That will happen here.
I appreciate what you guys are saying, especially like what you're saying, like you would do this show, no matter if even if it was just like 5 people listening, like you kind of just do it for you guys. It's for the audience too. And, But that's kind of how I feel about my music, is like it's for me first, and then getting to share it with other people. I appreciate that opportunity as well. And I guess, to make a career out of it, that's part of it, is to share it with other people and connect with other people through it. So I do take it seriously in that regard as well. But I relate to what you're saying with this podcast, how it sort of comes from the heart and from your relationship with each other and the connection that you share. And that's how other people can sort of relate to it as well, Yeah.
Such a damn goofball.
I do. Well, because that's it. Like the way we speak to each other, the general consensus is people either think we really don't like each other, or we have like some weird like homoerotic tendency towards each other that we're just not willing to talk about.
So,
which it's just, we've been friends for this long that we don't care anymore.
I don't care what people think about me. I'm just too old for that anymore.
Dude,
actually, that started like 20 years ago. I'm getting too old to care about what other people think. I mean, in the general sense, but
right. Well, so that's the thing is,
I take it into account and I move along. Yeah.
While we don't care what other people think, it's because we actually care that they have the ability to think. So it's like, we're not going to disregard your statement and not validate you having that expression. It's just probably not going to weigh on our minds at all. It's like, well, hey, that's how you feel. Cool. That's good. But, this is how I feel. And I'm going to,
that's why somebody invented agree to disagree.
I think it was because they didn't want to murder somebody.
I can still show love and respect for you as a human being, but I don't have to agree with everything you feel. And that's the beauty of being human.
That's the beauty of this show.
That I don't have to agree with anything you say.
Which you usually don't.
That is very beautiful.
To be honest.
Well, that's how I feel. If you agree, like, what do you have to talk about, right? Because then you're just going to sit there and be like, yeah, true. And like, then there's nothing else to contribute. So I appreciate when like people disagree or like challenge me in that way.
That's what I'm doing. Has always played the devil's advocate.
Well, I agree with Rebecca on that. It's just
it would be boring.
Well, because it's the same thing as if all we knew was good or all we knew was bad, we wouldn't have anything to have reference towards it. So we wouldn't be able to differentiate it. We would just be null. So whether it was good or bad, we would just be in the middle because we wouldn't know anything else. You need to have diversity. Change is always going to happen. That's the only thing that is constant in this world. Dr. Eric Thomas says it all the time. Change is the only thing that's permanent. So, you might as well be a part of that. And a part of that is just having a difference of opinion. Doesn't mean that you have to, disagree and be volatile about it. You can say, hey, we can even agree on the same thing, but we're going to say it differently. It's still different, but it's still the same. Which a lot of the times people are saying the same things, they're just saying it differently. And that becomes the problem, is the communication where they're like, well, you said this. And it's like, well, yeah, because I meant it as that. But it's like, but you said this. And it's like,
well, that's
but that's how you took it. And I meant it. That's
kind of what I say about religion. Everybody's speaking a different language and pissed off that the other person doesn't know theirs. You're all telling the same story. It doesn't matter. Like when it comes down to it, like the important part of the story is still there. The metaphysics of it,
Yeah, basics instructions before leaving Earth. Don't be a douche. Done. One rule. Finished.
I think I heard that was a quote. Yeah.
Yeah, but I quoted myself.
Was that Gandhi?
No, that was me.
Oh.
I quoted me. But no, like,
really deep.
Yeah, right. But that's literally what we say here. It's like, dude, just it's that simple of one rule. Don't be a douche. It's that easy. It's literally that easy. You can choose every morning when you wake up. You're like, am I going to be a douche or not a douche today? Not a douche. Cool.
Is it common for you to wake up and just decide to be a douchebag, or?
Dude, I will tell you, some mornings I like when I wake up and
I really have to push that back down.
Dude, there's been some mornings, especially lately, because all the work and it's like I look at myself in the mirror and I'm just like, not going to do it, bro. I'm like, all right, smile. Like, hey, what's up, handsome? Yeah, I got to shove the douche down and just be like, not happening today, bro. You're going to try, but it's not happening, because you literally have that choice. Every morning you wake up, I can either be happy about today or I can be sad about today. You get the choice. It's up to you. You know what? I want to live as many days as I can being happy and loving myself and loving everything that I'm doing and the people around me. So I work my butt off for that, because that's what I want. Like, I don't want to be a douche.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be. I think that's a really. I mean, of course, everybody wants to be happy all the time, but I think that's a really high mark.
Happy. Sorry.
Not everybody can be happy all the time, but you can be content. Like, you know, I think if the world was more towards contentment, I think there'd be a lot less war. There'd be a lot less violence altogether, you know.
Well, see, this is why I've always been a firm advocate. We need more women in politics.
Like, I want our voices to be like Bill and Ted's song that healed the world.
God gave rock and roll to you.
That is true.
Put it in your soul. Yeah, no, seriously, I think if we had more female politicians, we'd have less bullshit. I mean, they might bitch about it on like the backside because, I mean, let's be honest, women can kind of catty like that sometimes.
Don't get us pulled off the air.
However, when they came down to it, there'd be less wars because they're like, I got to go make dinner for the family. I'm trying to, you know what? We'll talk about this later. We're going to agree to disagree. And they would walk away. Nobody would be pressing the button. No nukes would be flying because they'd all be trying to spend time with their family and like loving one another. Because they're like, I'm going to have me some me time. You think about what you did and be like, I'm sorry. You instant mom tone. And you would be like,
or they'd come in and be like, I don't got time for this shit. Like, stop your now.
Like, biologically, females are more programmed to find like a diplomatic way to resolve issues.
It's the
I feel like they would get to the root of the problem quicker too, because they're more investigative than.
Because they want to explore the feelings and emotions, whereas guys are just like, this is illogical. You're being a dick. I'm done. And just like, what?
I'm going to hit the button. Fuck it.
Yeah, there's no thinking about it. There's no expressing or understanding. Women are more in tune. And I mean, I think it's somewhat physiological, but it's also the way society dictates it. Like, women are supposed to play with dolls and be soft and wear pink and, you know, lace and all that kind of shit.
Pink was originally developed for men. Did you know that?
I think it was salmon. That's a Friends reference.
Yeah.
It's salmon!
But no, pink was actually, women would, at one time, I'm trying to remember the year when that switched, but at one time, women would wear blue dresses.
Yeah.
And men would wear pink because pink was closer to red, which is blood.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, because we get built into this bubble where it's like we're expected just based off of gender or sexual orientation, this is how you're supposed to act. It's like, no, that's bullshit.
You're supposed to be a balanced individual.
You're supposed to be you, a loving individual of light and love for yourself and everything else around you. I don't know what that expression is, but you're supposed to be that.
Well, I don't know what your expression of that is, but
I mean, I know what mine is.
Go be that.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not you. I don't have your life experiences. I don't know what your purpose is.
Not on your frequency, man.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that.
Well, I guess, yeah, if you're tuning in, you're probably on my frequency.
107.9 coming in from San Francisco. But that's why, again, I really think that if we had more women in powerful positions, we'd probably all be better off. You know, because I mean, I sure as shit know growing up, you don't piss off abuelita or your tia, dude. If tia or abuelita's yelling, oh shit, I messed up. Yes, what can I do to fix this? You know, it's like instant reaction. But that's how I was raised. I was also beaten a lot as a kid, but you know, I deserved it. I'll be honest. What? I said a lot of smart things. Go figure.
Going back to pink.
Funny because there's all
back to pink.
There's all that stuff now about toxic masculinity and how the Western world is like a patriarchy. And I'm like, when you honestly look at it, do you think any family would stay together if it wasn't for the matriarchy?
Right. Again,
that's what brings everyone together.
If abuelita or tia tells you something, you say yes and you make it happen.
Yeah, because you got walloped once or twice.
Dude, I got a few patatas of it. It's like, what? Yeah, they came off the ground. They hit me so hard.
Man, you don't even know what happened. You're just dusting yourself off.
Pretty much. I blacked out. What happened? You got smart. Go clean something.
Okay.
Stumbling away.
I don't know what happened. I was talking trash, and the next thing I heard was beep. Beep.
That's accurate.
Beep.
Fucking breathing. You've been in a coma for 7 weeks. Do you know who the president is?
Did you learn your lesson yet?
You're
no,
right.
That would be the first question.
Do you hear me now?
That's not child abuse. I'm sorry. It's not.
I mean, I deserved it, so it wasn't child abuse for me, though. That's just me. I don't know. We come from a different generation, though, right? That's just,
we do. I mean, it's like the generation that we grew up in. It wasn't uncommon for mom to put a whoop into your backside with everybody watching, because that was the power of it.
You set the example.
Like,
they all fall in line.
Do that now in public. There'd be like security.
Oh yeah, no, you can.
Police, and
you just got to be smart about it. I've seen some shit I didn't do.
We're gonna go to the bathroom right now.
Yo,
that was your story,
dude.
right?
That was, all right. So my mother, when I was, let's say like 6.5, 7 years old, we're all out grocery shopping. It's my mom, me, and my sister. We're being, bratty little kids looking for attention, just doing this, that, and the other. My mom says nothing, just keeps walking us. All of a sudden, we realize we're in the bathroom getting walloped. She just like stands there, like literally we walk in,
that hole
locks
in between.
the door.
Like, how did that?
Oh yeah, no, she like takes us in the bathroom, locks, and it's just like, oh, we're going into the bathroom, and all of a sudden just wallops the crap out of you. Once you're done crying, she just looks at you, like, we good? Cool. And then we go out. Dude, next time we're in the store and we start acting up, my mom literally would just look at us and be like, do we need to go to the bathroom? Like, nah, we good. We good. I'll be right here. Did you need me to get milk? I'll go get the milk. I'll be right back.
What did you say though? You were like, no, I'm good. Oh.
No, dude, it was, as soon as she said you need to go to the bathroom, I was like, bing, like, nah, we good.
Oh, like your back straightens up.
Oh, dude. All new toe. Yes, mother. What can I do for you?
Heel toe.
Oh, dude. All of it. All right, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Not a joke. But, but that's how we were raised as kids. And I mean, so taking that further, I've never raised my hand to a child, and I never will, because I realized what that does to them. I mean, it literally embarrasses them to a point that they feel diminished and invalid. And that's no way to raise anything that's supposed to be of innocence and love. And just, I mean, children are our future. Why do we want to beat them down? We need to be lifting them up. Kumbaya. No, but dude, literally, like, we need to be lifting our kids up with education, love, support, everything.
Make it a better place.
Oh, God. I did Hands Across America. I am that old.
That's the second time that you said that.
Because I'm that old. I forgot. First time I said, where am I? I blacked out. What happened?
It's all right. Breathe. It doesn't matter. You're right here. It's all that matters. You're right here.
So we were talking earlier, you have a music therapy thing that you're doing, and you're educating yourself in that. What has been the funnest class that you've enjoyed while doing that?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the most fun class that I've had is definitely an improvisation class that I took, because that's literally just everyone in the class jamming together. But I felt like I learned, so many different ways that you can improvise, like in reference to something, or just like spontaneously. And I feel like it really challenged me as a musician, because I had to let go of, the rules, and knowing that, one message I took away from that class was, on the guitar or the piano, you paid for all the notes. So use them all, even if it's not in the right scale or it sounds like the wrong note, like just keep playing, make it sound like it fits, just keep going and flow with it. It's more about staying in the rhythm than it is about, playing the right notes.
Yeah, that's like
Jaspers. Yeah, exactly.
So that was like Paul McCartney. Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead. I finished my statement.
I'm just making sure. Yeah, but Paul McCartney was never formally trained as a musician. He always said, when I wrote stuff, it's what sounded right to me. So he was listening to his heart and his gut and his instinct the whole time he was writing all of his music. And he's written some amazing stuff. Never been formally trained. He didn't know what notes to play when they were supposed to, or what a scale or chord. He figured it out, and it's whatever sounded right. And he's like, that's what it is. I mean, that's a beautiful thing of art. Like, that's what you can be formally trained to be a phenomenal, anything, or you can just be completely hands-on, figure it out for yourself and just be as phenomenal or even more. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter how you do it or learn it. I think when you get to the core of who you are and you kind of get out of your own way as a artist of whatever expression, that's when like the most beautiful stuff happens. Cause it's raw, it's honest.
Jimi Hendrix would play a right-handed guitar by just flipping it upside down and playing it left-handed.
Yeah, most of the lead guitarists for Gypsy Kings do that too. There's very few people in this world that actually play left-handed with a right-handed guitar, and they play them upside down. And they play some phenomenal... Dude, Gypsy Kings, if you've never heard of Gypsy Kings, amazing Spanish folk. They are phenomenal. They are a big band. I think there's like 7 or 8 of them. They're super huge, lots of stage presence. I mean, just phenomenal music. They're great musicians. I love the Gypsy Kings for sure.
We'll definitely have to look into them.
Education and schooling. What is like the one thing that you would say that you found the most interesting or the most valuable thing that you've learned so far? Like something that was just like,
I think in music therapy, I know, kind of like just like a way of being with people and like meeting people where they're at. I feel like that's helped me also in like my personal relationships too. I feel like my biggest takeaway from like those classes that I will bring into my personal life is just like those verbal skills or those like ways of being with people to be supportive and knowing that like I don't have to fix someone's problems. That's not part of it. It's just, being
that's an important lesson.
Present. Yeah, right. Exactly. It's just like, what is my role in this? And I think it's just to be supportive in those moments. Yeah.
That's one thing. Apparently it's in genetic, well, not genetic. It's a male thing to want to fix problems when people tell them to you. And I found myself running into that wall many a time where somebody tells me their problems and I'm looking around like, how can I fix this? Like I found myself doing that when really all you need to do is just listen and respond appropriately.
Correct.
Just enough to kind of edge the person and to kind of give a little bit more, but it's maybe just a human trait all around to want to fix things. And it's an important lesson.
To a degree, yeah. I mean, I think males do it more on like a physical level. Let me rectify the situation. Let me get you chocolate or, build something or repair something. Whereas women are more on like, let's talk about it. Let's, work through it. I mean, no matter what, you're still attempting to rectify the situation. You want to fix things, but...
Except my mom. She didn't talk about it.
Except my mom. Your mother's a very nice lady.
She was, yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying she wasn't so good with the talky talk necessarily.
She was pretty good with the smacky.
That's a generational thing though.
I think so. She was very much better at expressing herself by buying me something or taking me out to a nice meal. Like it was...
But that's also love languages. That could also break down to how she receives love. It could be things that she didn't get as a child that she might like want to provide you with, things that she might have wanted.
And I figured some of that out after talking to her. I mean, I've had a couple chat sessions with her, one that lasted like 4 hours long.
I know this now.
And it's like, I start to realize like, man, I'd be really effed up if I had to go through what you went through. Cheers.
Correct. And then being raised by the generation of like having your parents be the generation of the Depression, that also put a whole different layer on things.
Yeah.
Leave it to JD to bring the room down with some knowledge. Good job, little bud.
I'm just saying.
I'm agreeing with you.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, that's it. This is why I love when she does interject. It's not always with just like facts. It's also usually very useful information. Yeah, she keeps us grounded, man. We appreciate it.
So yes, biggest lesson learned possibly was learning that just to make a presence, just to kind of get on the same wavelength with somebody and just have understanding.
Well, see, that's why I've always said kids don't understand emotions. They understand who shows up. Just being there.
100%.
Yeah, just being there makes a massive difference. And I don't think it's just kids. Because, I mean, honestly, I think even as adults, we're still just kids inside. Like, we're still just wanting to be hugged and loved and appreciated. I mean, we're all just giant children, basically.
Well, there's being there. And then there's being there. And it's like,
there's physically present, and then there's like
emotionally,
mentally present,
fully present. Yeah. Like, in the moment.
But dude, still being there on any level, you showed up, and your kids will remember that. I guarantee you, they will remember the times that you showed up, not the times you didn't, as long as you're showing up. If all you did is not show up, they're going to remember that shit. I guarantee you. But you definitely made sure that, especially if you showed up when it was like, you could tell it was most important to them, dude, they will remember that shit. We all do. So I say it's not just a kid thing. Like I
hope so. Somebody's got to take care of me take care of me one a day when I can't take care of myself. So
if I can't wipe my own ass, put me out of my misery. I'm done. We are all good. I don't need nothing else. Yeah, all good, Spider. Crapper is full. No hands on the deck. We're out.
So now we're talking about offing yourself. Is that?
No, it's not even so much that. It's just I'm good.
Oh my God.
Leave me to the woods. Yeah, just leave me in the woods. It's fine.
Just leave me in the woods.
I will die with dignity. Leave me here. I'm a burden on the family. We're good.
That's what a pack animal does.
I mean, again, I'm all good. I don't want to be a burden on my family.
Dogs sometimes, when they're starting to get really sick and they know they're going to go,
they just wander off.
They'll run away. Yeah. They'll get out of the house. They'll run away, and they'll just go die in the woods somewhere.
Don't want to be a burden. That's respect.
Cats hide.
Cats are not to be trusted.
I don't like cats.
I'm not a cat. I mean, personally, I'm not a cat
became
person.
a cat person. I grew up with dogs my whole life, and I recently became a cat person since moving to Philly. And people tend to abandon their cats when they move. And then they become my responsibility because I feed them and they end up on my doorstep. So I've ended up having 2 cats now, this way of finding them outside and offering them a home. But one of them had a wound on her tail. So I was like, oh, she needs help. And then another one climbed up on my balcony, like up to the 2nd floor, and was like at my door screaming. So I was like, I need to let her in.
Don't get me wrong. I'd be the same way. Because I do love all animals, all walks of life, even the crazy animals that walk on 2 legs.
Nah, I hate cats.
I would take the cat on the balcony, walk them through the house, out the front door.
I would have punted the cat off.
In my defense, I'm really allergic, and I have 3 dogs who would care way more about it than it would care about them. And we have feral ones in our backyard that come and visit. So it's like when we're out in the yard, like 2 or 3 feral cats come and hang out with us. That's enough for me. They can stay outside.
Well, they're feral cats. You don't want them inside anyway.
She's like, look at my kitty. Oh, yeah.
She's at my balcony. Let me in.
I'm so
it's something, and I understand the whole cat thing. I do, because
I've had cats. I like black cats and big cats. I don't like your standard normal house cat.
You can't be home at the same time every night. Having a cat is much better than having a dog.
Fish are way easier.
For me, a pack animal is where it's at, because when you come home, all they want to do is be near you. Whereas a cat, they might look at you and just walk away. You might not see them for the next 2 hours. That's just, they're aloof. They're just like that.
Well, dude,
cats, this is the best description. You come home and a cat's like, oh, you're home? And just keeps going. So you walk in and your dog is like, oh my God, where have you been? Oh my God, I look out the window all day waiting for you. Like, it's total different levels.
It's like
when you come in.
Everything that happened throughout the day. Like,
well, see,
I would argue cats have different personalities, though.
It is true. It is true.
My one cat, the one that's on the balcony, acts like that. But the other one I have, she will come and lay on my chest, and she likes to cuddle, get scratches. So she kind of acts more like a dog in that sense, where she kind of likes to be near you. But I feel like cats do get that stereotype. They get that reputation.
See, I've more times than not, the cats that I've had in my life from friends, family, in my own house, all that stuff. The majority of them, to me, have always just been kind of they come up to you and they're just like, oh, hey, what's up? You want to pet me? You're like, yeah, I'll pet you. And they're like, fuck off. You're like, what the
I've experienced that for sure.
I don't hang out with people like that. Why am I going to hang? And I'm going to have to feed you and clean your own shit. Fuck you.
Real, that's part of it for me, because the first experience I ever had as a kid with a cat, because we didn't have one. The first experience I had was the neighbor's cat got into our house, and I was trying to go gently get it out from under the bed or whatever to get it back to the neighbor. And this cat scratched the shit out of me. And it was the same thing. I was going slow. I wasn't trying to be threatening. And that was the first experience I had with a cat. So maybe that's where it's, where it originates from. And
psychology would say.
I understand that bias. That makes sense.
Like it just grabbed onto my
Plus, cats have
claws, and I was just like, ah. So like
they'll go through like attitude issues too, where they'll be like, "Oh, love me, love me, love me," and then all of a sudden they're like, "You didn't come home. Here's your plates. Here's your cups. Knocking everything off your counter. Oh, did you like that vase?" Like,
we are Siamese. If you
no shit, dude, that is no joke.
We are Siamese.
More times than not,
please.
Although, but again, so like I've had a bunch of different black cats in my life. Every one of the black cats, dope. I'm just saying, it's not me. It's the numbers. Hey, the numbers say.
Did you know that in Germany, during the month of October, they will not let you adopt a black cat? And most states actually will not let you adopt cats around Halloween, especially black cats.
What?
I get that.
Because people were adopting them to sacrifice them.
I was going to ask, is it to keep them safe? Yeah. Wow.
That was not where I was going
I
with
didn't even
it.
think about it. That's like one of those things when you see a sign somewhere and you're like, isn't that common knowledge? And you're like, no, that's why somebody made the sign.
Yeah, here's your sign.
Like, I didn't know deer signs had damn tally marks on them. Only in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Welcome to PA.
That's Ferry Road. Yep.
I've been in many of states and never once have I seen that until this past year.
The best is when you grow up around here and it started out as like 2. And then like every time I drive, like a month later, it's like 5.
7. The highest count on it was like 9 or like, dude, it was up.
No, it was higher than that. It was
there was
like
a couple of
17
crisscrossing
or something. Yeah. They just kept putting, and I heard from another friend that they actually knew the guy that was responsible for some of those because he drove a big truck and they'd always just like run right out in front of the truck. And it was like, there's another one. And he'd go over and he'd actually mark the sign.
I'm just gonna, all right.
I don't know if it was electrical tape or what it was.
Yeah, it was electrical tape.
Yeah.
It looked like it because it was like that size black.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Plus, that sticks really well outsid because you get a good vacuum seal on it.
This is the wonderful thing. Like, we never know where a conversation is going to go.
I mean, hey, welcome to I'm Telling You. Well, we've already been here, so welcome to the 13th conversation. I don't know.
I've already been pulled over.
17. I'm old. I don't remember shit.
You like the number 17.
Do 13 and 17. 13 is my lucky number.
13 is my wife's.
1790.
I don't know. 13 is a good number. Baker's dozen, Jesus and the 12 disciples. Saying.
I was just going to say
there's
that
something there.
Do you know why I like a baker's dozen?
Wait, what?
Why is that?
Do you know why I like a baker's dozen?
Oh, Jesus, no.
Because there's always one for me to eat.
I don't see how you didn't see that coming.
I don't know why I even ask anymore.
But that's what a baker's dozen was. It was, I mean, sometimes it was they were giving you the extra because it's like, hey, if you got one that's messed up, as well as like, hey, here's something for you, sir, for buying my bread.
Nobody does that anymore.
Dude, the last time I had a bread provider, dude, they worked off baker's dozens. Everything was 13.
Oh, I make my own bread.
Dude, when you have a restaurant, you don't got time to make your own bread.
Now you were saying
it's called bread machine.
You were saying Jesus.
12 minutes of effort. Like put 3 ingredients in, wait 12 minutes, put the other 3 in, hit a few buttons, walk away 3.5 hours later.
Yeah, but do you know how much bread you go through in a restaurant? Dude, not enough that you're going to be baking it all. That would be the
There's no
only.
way.
You would be
That's
a bakery.
all you would be doing.
That's
Yeah.
why you don't have like restaurants making their own bread. You have a bakery because that's all they do.
I've worked in a lot of restaurants that make their own bread, though.
There's bakeries that make
Dude, no,
sandwiches.
to make
though.
your own like little artisanal where it's like, oh, here's your bread with dinner. Yeah, no, I'm talking about like sandwich rolls, buns. You know, you're making like all of that stuff, dude. That is way too much bread for any restaurant to be making. It's not. That is like the most inefficient way. If that's what they're doing, it's because they're selling you on the bread. They're being artisanal. That's the only thing. There's no way. Like the economy is not there to make your bread and all your other food. Not happening, bro.
Like Panera.
They don't make their own bread. You know what I mean? Like, dude, Subway sends that shit as like presets and they just put it into an oven. They don't have to make it.
Yeah,
They
no,
just
that's true.
bake it. There's a reason.
And actually,
My roommate is a baker at Panera. I can vouch for that he just puts things on a tray and puts it in the oven, and that's the bake.
But that's for consistency's sake.
That's true.
So it's consistent no matter what Panera you go into. It's going to taste the same.
Exposed.
you're not a baker. You're an oven operator. That's what I would say.
I mean, 90% of I will say any commercial restaurant that I have ever been to or worked in or known somebody who's worked in the kitchen, it's 90% pre-made in packages. They just throw it in the microwave or heat it up or deep fry it, like pretty much. So unfortunately, you've been exposed.
Any of my kitchens, when I set them up, when it was my kitchen, none of them were allowed to have a microwave ever. That is not a cooking equipment of any kind.
Unplug it and throw it out back. It's useless.
Dude, that's a doorstop in my opinion. You ain't doing nothing with it but holding that shit open.
Which I will tell this story again, but you ever go to a chain steakhouse and you say, my steak is not cooked the way I like it. Could you please throw it back on? And it comes back and you can see the shrink marks on the plate from where they threw it in the microwave. Bro,
Not having bro.
give me your steakhouse card because you're not allowed to operate as a steakhouse. If you're going to throw a steak, and this is coming from a vegetarian, by the way, if you're going to throw a steak into a microwave,
Vegetarian PSA, don't trust a microwave steakhouse.
right?
Good
He
to know.
became a vegetarian because he couldn't trust your microwave steaks.
It's all your fault. I got PTSD from your microwave. All right, bro. You get that.
Comes back, it's like flubber.
Dude, it's gross.
It's bouncy. The knife bounces right off of it when you try to cut it. You have to chew it for like 20 hours before you can swallow.
Again, never had a microwave.
That's why I became a vegetarian in the first place, like when I was a kid, because I couldn't deal with how long you had to chew a piece of steak. It was just ridiculous to me.
My
So I
house.
was like, no, thank you, at the age of 6. Hey, there's some things I like to masticate with, but steak is not one.
You knew it was coming. Come on, you know me by now.
Oh, God.
I don't like that meat.
Dude, he's talking about masticating and coming. That's, bro, this is not that show. What's wrong with you? Yeah, that's right. You sit there and think about what you did.
You want a list?
Can't even with this guy. What am I supposed to do with this? I don't.
Just treat me well. That's all.
Just respect me in the morning.
Buy me dinner.
Do I cook you plenty of
Remember,
You do.
it's not cheating if you're the little spoon.
This is why we confuse the hell out of people. Did they hate each other? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So my husband went in the field, which is like training off, whatever. So they made a joke, him and one of the buddies, and they were like, well, we cuddled because the guy was trying to like make me jealous. And I was like, I looked at my husband and I go, which spoon were you? And he goes, I was a little one. So I gave him a high five. And the kid goes, what the hell? I go, it wasn't cheating.
Not cheating if you're the little spoon. Not at all.
Got to be a t-shirt.
Dude, I'm telling you, yeah, no, shirts are coming. Merch is happening. This is a thing.
I got to do that.
Yeah, dude, it's happening. It is a thing. Yeah, we can talk about this later. Right now.
I mean, for me, it's not even as much about the money. It's just,
Oh, no, dude, I just want to have
somebody
those
else
shirts.
wear a t-shirt.
Dude, I want those shirts for myself. Dude, our shirts are hilarious.
It'll happen.
I mean, they're just quotes of all the stupid stuff that we say, but still, the stupid stuff we say is hilarious. I mean, to us,
Like,
but it's
don't be a douche.
Don't be a douche.
Just don't be a douche.
Yeah, I've already tangented. I can't tangent any further. I mean,
that one's already a t-shirt.
Well, yeah, but we got to get them for other people. I already have mine. I want to see other people wearing them. Sincerely, I do. I want to see other people wearing them.
That one's already made.
I know. I own them both.
I know. I made them both.
I know. They were the best.
Well, I own my t-shirt.
For the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, you know, she literally, because we've been talking about making like shirts and stuff for a long time. She made us a couple and then sent them to us and was just like, hey guys. We like open them up. We're like, oh, dude, she gets us the best gifts.
She does.
Dude, she's the best fact checker and like gift giver. She makes us, bro. She completes us.
She does. I'm a horrible gift giver. I am so happy with my t-shirt. Would you like some tea? So
it's literally a shirt with two ladies drinking tea, which is why it's a t-shirt. We're not funny. Not clever.
But there's like a dual meaning with the shirt because it says, would you like some tea? And it comes from an inside joke about a sexual consent video, which if you look this up, it is a thing on YouTube and just put tea sexual consent. And it literally depicts all case scenarios where sexual consent comes into play with stick figures with a man in a British accent. Or no, he's English. But yeah, it's definitely entertaining.
Yeah, and it's all based around tea.
It's very entertaining.
You make them the tea and then they pass out. They no longer want the tea. So you can't make them drink the tea. You can't force them to have the tea. It's like they asked for the tea, but sometimes they don't want the tea right now.
Sometimes when you ask, people want tea, and then in the time it takes to
make the tea,
water and
boil it
and to steep the tea, they no longer want tea. Yeah, you can't force them to have the tea.
Of course. And just because they drink your tea on Saturday doesn't mean that they want to drink your tea on every Saturday.
It's very educational.
I like the sequel though, because that was hilarious. Because
there's a sequel called Tea Slut.
You make tea for somebody else and they don't want it. I will drink the tea.
Yeah, I want all the tea.
I will drink my tea. I will drink their tea. There is no need in bothering to ask me if I would like tea because the answer will always be yes. If I am asleep, you make me tea. And you wake me up. Like, it's the complete polar opposites, but it's hilarious.
But it's consensual. I will drink the tea.
Because I'm literally offering it up. I want the tea. Yeah, give me that tea.
So it's like code word now. If you want the tea, that means,
Yeah. You want to have intercourse.
And on the back of the shirt it says, oh, it's lovely.
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, which is, that comes from a movie, but, go figure.
Which is where the picture of the two ladies is from. It's from a movie. So, oh, it's lovely is their quote with it after they take sips. Like, that's what they would say. Because unbeknownst to them, they made tea with cannabis leaves.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the movie. The movie Saving Grace. Yeah, Colin Ferguson's in it. It is. It's a very enjoyable production. Oh my God.
That was the best. So this old lady, right? She's about to lose her house because she gets her husband dies and leaves her with nothing but debt.
Husband kills himself. He commits suicide because he's so in debt that he's like, I'm out of here and I don't want to deal with this.
And leaves her with nothing but debt. And she teams up with her gardener,
which is Carl.
Craig Ferguson.
Thank you. It's Carl Ferguson. That's Craig Ferguson's cousin, Carl. But yeah,
he commissions her to bring his plants back to life, and then she starts growing them and realizes that how much is this worth? I could really sell this. And
you didn't kill them, did you?
And
they're not dead, are they?
The first time she decides she's going to try this stuff because she, hey, I'm making this and I'm going to sell it.
Can you give me one?
He completely misunderstands her.
Oh yeah, no, she literally goes to him and she's just like, can you give me one? And he's looking at her like,
he was thinking sex.
Yeah, I know you're single and you didn't have the best sex life, but she's like, well, if I'm going to be growing it, I should know what it does. And he's like, yeah, we can go smoke a joint. Sure. That I can do for you.
So that was when she's sitting in the car and she's just spaced out completely.
Oh, dude, no, they're sitting there on the beach.
They went on the cliff side, the hills.
So she's smoking for the first time, and they're just passing the joint back and forth. She takes a hit. Yeah, she's like, it's like nothing's happening. Takes another hit, and then all of a sudden, she just starts laughing uncontrollably with like no trigger whatsoever.
And Craig looks at her and he's
just like, I am so, he's like, what is so funny? She's just like, you're Scottish. And it's just like the most hilarious thing in the world to her because they were in Wales. So to the Welsh, like you freaking Scotsmans are like, you don't trust them and whatnot. So there's usually not like a good relationship. So it's
just out of nowhere. She starts cracking.
She just thinks it's hilarious that he's Scottish. Just laughs at him for like 5 minutes. It's hilarious.
Are you hungry?
I'm famished. I'm ravished.
I'm ravenous.
Yeah, but no, we
as usual.
The antics are ensuing, which means it's time to go now.
We'll have to have her on so she can actually talk.
I appreciate the antics. I'm all about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, this has been an absolute blast. The green room was great. Having you on, I'm telling you, was great. Again, I mean, I've just, from the time I've met you, I've just enjoyed you as a person, a musician, everything. So yeah, when the opportunity came up, I was like, yeah, I got to throw the love back out there. And that's, I'm glad we made this happen. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to do catch up work to check out some of your stuff.
You better subscribe and some other stuff too. Hook her up.
Absolutely will. Absolutely will. Because you got
Thank you so much.
I mean, like he was saying earlier, you got that energy. That's just, it's infectious.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And it's so nice to connect with you again, Phil. And it's so nice to meet you, Steve and Miss JB. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciated this opportunity and really enjoyed talking with you tonight. Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're welcome and thank you. But yeah, fam, as always, if you could, please reach out to us, hit us up. You get all three of us at ity directionsandmusic.org, or you can get this jackass over here at
GMINI at directionsandmusic.org.
Bleep, blur, bleep. Or Philly D, PHILLY at directionsandmusic.org. But yeah, as always, this is I'm Telling You. We had a blast. Thank you, Rebecca, for coming out.
Thank you so much.
I'm Philly D.
Mr. Gemini.
Clickety clack a fact check, Miss JD.
Yeah, and as always, fam, be good to yourself, be good to everything else.
Much love.
Peace.
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 Peace out.